I'm
Welcome
trying.
aboard,
Thank
all you wonderful groomers, pet stylists, and canine cosmetologists. You found the welcome
Technical
aboard, all you
difficulties.
wonderful groomers, pet stylists, and canine cosmetologists. You found the Traveling Groomers Podcast, where we discuss lessons learned from mobile and house call grooming. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Bear Anthony. Any moment now, we'll be joined by my co-host and friend, retired mobile groomer and educator extraordinaire, Mary Aquendo, and very likely a special guest to help us chat about all things grooming, grooming industry related, and just plain fun digressions that I will totally wrangle back to topic. Grab those travel mugs and climb aboard to see where today's topic will bring us. Let's roll. So, Mary, what my technical difficulties were was that I tried to sync up hitting record on the soundboard and record on Zoom at the same time, but you hadn't quite given me permission to record yet.
Because the box didn't show up.
Okay. So I then stuttered and then I went, oh, well, wait, I really only need the soundboard recording for today. So we're good. And yeah, finger stuttered, all of that stuff. You guys won't hear any of it. It'll be seamless, and this conversation will be out of nowhere. Nowhere.
Unless you're watching the recording.
And then you'll just see me going, just making a face. So this.
What you got there?
I got water here. I have water here.
Okay. I got water here too.
I have water in my ginormous margarita glass because I have to give absolute shout out to my husband because I knew I was going to be running late tonight. And I already asked you, okay, can we push it a half an hour? And I told him what I was thinking of doing for dinner, just chicken nuggets from the freezer. It's easy. So I called him and said, okay, I'm headed in. I should be home in about 20 minutes. I get home. I think I was home 2 minutes. I was on the phone with Ashley and I look at the table and I see lined up, I'm like, ketchup, hot sauce, barbecue sauce, and something else. Everything is like, and thing of water. It's lined up beautifully. I'm home for maybe 2 minutes and I hear the sound. He's fussing in the kitchen. I hear a plate hitting the table. I'm like, oh, that's amazing. That was awesome. I just came home and dinner was ready and I'm sitting there eating going, I get the whole 1950s housewife thing because this is amazing to come home after a long day of work and your dinner is just boom. I'm like, this is great. So I asked him for a glass because he put out the big container from the, my brain's not working right. The thing you go and it makes the water fizzy, soda stream.
Yep.
So this was the glass he decided that I should have for my water today. And I'm like, okay, all right, fine.
Okay. So you know what I'm going to have for dinner tonight?
What are you going to have?
All right. So I just did a pet first aid class and a business class in Oregon. And Anita Clock gave me fresh caught salmon.
Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh.
So that is what I am having for dinner tonight.
Oh, and Mary, before we get terribly far, welcome to episode number 215, recorded on June 14th and will be airing on 6/21. Today is the start of our not necessarily sequential sponsor shout out segment. Meet our sponsors series. Series is the word I was looking for. Sponsor series.
Okay.
And after our first break, we're gonna bring on our first very special guest.
Okay.
For this.
So what do you want to talk about until our guest gets here?
Well, tell me a little bit about your instructor training. That's what you were doing in Oregon. It was pet
No,
tech.
no.
No, what?
What I did in Oregon was a 1-day pet first aid class.
Mhm.
And then the second day was a business class, a day of business.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So if you're going to get me down somewhere, make it
Yeah.
utilize me.
Yeah. That's because that sounded like a long drive for you.
It was no traffic 6 hours, but of course stops and traffic made it a little over 7.
Yeah.
Stopping on the road to eat is always a crapshoot especially when you're not familiar.
Yeah, it is. It can be exciting. It's even more like it's probably a lot easier when you don't have dietary restrictions.
Oh yeah, I would say it's way easier. If you're open to almost anything that could possibly be on the menu.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Which is kind of fun.
So I did stop at a place on the way home, and I'm going to give it a meh.
Okay. Okay.
Salad was good though.
Something I will recommend for my fellow vegetarians and vegans out there. There is an app called Happy Cow. And you can search for restaurants and grocery stores that have vegan and veg options wherever you are or anywhere in the country. Like you can put in a zip code. So I use it a lot when traveling, and it's really fun.
So Pooh Bear has not left my side since I've been home. He's very suspicious when I go out to the garage. I was literally mauled when I walked in the door by 4 dogs who were super excited to see that I was home and that they were not going to be totally left with Ernesto for the rest of their lives.
Oh, because that would be the worst thing ever.
Oh, seriously. You know what? I don't know what they complain about because they get away with a lot more than they get away with me.
Yeah.
And this feeds them whatever it is they want. And I'm like, well, yeah, and this is not here. Daddy's not here. Guess what? Go eat your dinner.
No, the dinner I put out.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
Yeah. Seriously, I'm not cooking anything special for you.
So also you will hopefully notice a lack of giggle ball this episode. I didn't take it away from her because I'm not heartless, but I did give her a long ass braided bully stick. So there's currently just chomping. There's just some mild chomping.
So who's here with me? And it's not, honestly, at this stage of the game, traveling more than that is just going to be too much, I think, for me personally at this point. Trade shows notwithstanding.
Oh, and are we allowed to talk about the Super Zoo thing?
I believe we can. We don't have a date and time yet. Well,
no, like nothing is settled. Nothing is settled. Oh, I don't know if it's going to be live.
No, it's definitely going to be live.
Oh, okay. Okay. So we will figure something out.
So at Super Zoo, we're going to do a live podcast, live from Super Zoo. They're going to give us a spot to do it. Theoretically, that'll be, I don't know, quieter than the actual, than, I don't know, over the roar of the show type place.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe even have a giveaway, because you know what? There's a T-shirt I'm thinking about having ordered. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You think Jamie?
And you know this how? And you know this
how? How do I know this? Because I'm going to go do it.
Please, if you make up T-shirts that say, and you know this how, the answer has to be on the back, because I'm a goddamn professional. All I ask.
Okay, I will see
Well, technically not all. I did make another request, but that's beside the point.
Okay, so I'm going to be looking for places to see where I can get this done. That won't break the bank.
Yeah, huh?
Uh-huh.
Something cafe price is good, but they're not necessarily cheap.
And I don't think they're actually the best quality either. If I'm going to spend that kind of money, one of the places I'm looking at is Sticker Mule.
Okay. You actually going to define, oh crap. That was a very short-lived bully stick. Sorry. Never underestimate the chewing power of a bully breed. Are you actually going to go design something on Canva?
Yeah, of course I am.
Why don't you make it a contest? Why don't you make it a contest? Put some other people to work.
Because this is what I was thinking. Okay. I was thinking on the front, have the logo, Traveling Groomers Podcast, and then We Digress underneath it, because our tagline.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the back, and saying, this how.
I still request because I'm a goddamn professional.
We'll see.
If
I'm being charged by the letter or something of that nature.
Oh, well, that's true. I don't think, you know what? I don't know. I don't know how these people charge.
Okay.
All I know is I hope my face did something appropriate. I hope my face.
All right. So I guess people could tell us what kind of colors they want. Please don't say white t-shirts.
Yeah, I got caught out. Never mind. Not going to go there. Not going to go there. Not going to go there, milady. Accidental vein showers, white t-shirts, not going to go there. Anyway.
I think you just did, but go ahead.
I think I just did. It was not that long, and I was just shocked when I got back into the house and went, oh no, oh, problem. I wasn't exactly in public. I was in my yard. So, all right. So I think it has been approximately 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to take our first commercial break. And when we come back, I am going to ask Mary to introduce our special guest for today. And speaking of continuing education, because we either were or will be, join the Andis world-class education team each month for live interactive virtual classes. You'll learn new and trending styles, as well as tips and tricks from some of the best groomers in the industry. Whether you're looking for basic skills, trending styles, advanced techniques, or even just ways to spark your creativity, the new Andis grooming education site is your source for finding what you need to create your way for success. Try new techniques, learn from the pros, and grow your confidence today at andis.com/groomer education. Traveling Groomer podcast listeners, hey, that's you, can get 25% off your first course today with the code VEGROOMING at checkout on andis.com/groomer education.
Okay. So sometimes humor is more like physical humor rather than listening. So maybe this will be funnier if you're watching rather than listening. So I'd like to introduce our guest today. And so I'd like to introduce Mary Oquendo, owner of Pawsitive Educational Training.
And Mary's got her Pawsitive Ed hat on.
No, not Pawsitive Head. It is a Tinkerbell hat.
Oh, okay. So that is your official.
Well, if you know me, I've got the Tinkerbell tattoo on my ankle. I've got tons of Tinkerbell hats. This is the first one that I came across.
So the reason we're doing a segment, it's not to cheap out on advertising. It's not to give you guys a bunch of extra commercials, but the reason we're doing that is we choose our sponsors very particularly because they're companies we love, there's products we love, and we want to know more about the people behind them.
Okay.
So, Mary, how long ago did you first conceive of positive educational
Okay.
training?
Quite a while ago, 2011. You may have blinked and missed that.
Hmm.
Okay. So actually, I started the company in 2011, and the company's always been in business. It's how active it's been kind of hit or miss. But I started it in 2011 because I was going to a lot of trade shows. I was there's my dogs. There's Hershey, Intergroom, New England, Atlanta Pet Fair, Super Zoo. There was a lot of shows I was at. Right. And what I found what was happening. All right, hold on one second. Chris, talk for a minute because the dogs are going nuts.
I didn't even really hear the dogs go nuts in the background. But my next question.
If you don't hear them, then it's fine. Okay, so I'm at a trade show and I realized for like the 100th time, there's a class I want to take. And I can't take it because it's either at the same time I'm teaching or I'm tired. I'm just simply tired. I don't want to take it. And so I found that all of my education was online. And I was taking online classes, which were very common in other industries. So all my business classes, all the tech classes I was taking, they were all online. And I'm thinking, well, why not? And positive educational training was born.
I love it. Now, how long did it take from actually conception and you putting this together to actually starting to work in it regularly?
Okay, so from the time I thought I should do it to the time it launched was probably about 6 months. And when I tell you I made all the mistakes, I made all the mistakes. I would be hard pressed for you to come up with something and I would say, oh, gee, I didn't make that mistake because I'm pretty sure I did. So it started
All
off
right.
with, workshops here and there. So they were just online workshops. There wasn't any rhyme or reason to how often I was doing it. Or if I having other people come in and do it, there was just like, there was simply no rhyme or reason to it. I don't think I got serious about it until I got frustrated with it. Okay. So I got frustrated with it probably about maybe a year or 2 years into it.
Mhm.
And I knew I needed to make a bunch of changes to it, but I didn't even know how to start, where to start. So I grabbed a coach who was already doing like a membership site, was doing what it is I wanted to do. And it wasn't just a membership site. She was selling individual courses, and then you could have access to those courses on the website when you purchase them. Okay. So I started with her and, got the continuing education, deciding on the better platforms than what I had, and started to polish it up a little bit. And even that was like hit or miss on it. No real continuity to how often I did it. It was just I would offer these classes, you could sign up for it, and that was kind of the end of it. And I didn't get real serious until 2018 when I did like a whole rebranding of it, and I went with a membership model. So the original membership model was that I was doing one workshop a month.
Mhm.
And the membership fee was $47 a month. And it basically gave you almost permanent access to that recording. And then COVID hit in 2020, and everybody was all freaked out about, um, feeding their families.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was watching my membership start to dwindle a little bit. Okay. So I had to make a decision on what it is I was going to do it. Chris, I had just retired from grooming.
Yeah.
Van was gone. There was well, there wouldn't have been any income coming in from there anyway, but that's beside the point. I now locked myself into teaching full time, and I need to figure out a way to make that work. So and I started to put on online summits for other people. In fact, you and I, the Traveling Groomers, did an online summit, which I know.
Yeah, we did that. That happened real quick in 2020.
Yep. So I want to just say that Positive Educational Training was the first one to put on like online trade shows. Just
Yep.
saying. So we did the Traveling Groomers one. I did for Chris Pearson for the Wisconsin Invitational, the stylist thing that she does. I did one for the Holistic Pet Groomer Association. And I'm just thinking, people were like so eager to get continuing education because it was not only denied to them, they had nowhere to go.
Yeah.
So people were at home, and they were paying more. They were paying more for the online summits than they were for the membership.
There is a lot to be said for being able to take these classes while you're in bed in your PJs, while you're grooming a dog.
So I figured let's try this. Right. So I literally doubled the price. We went from $47 to $97 a month, but it was 2 days of education. So, and it also gave speakers an opportunity to earn some money without going anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you could earn the same amount of money that you would at a conference without actually traveling to the conference. So I just found it to be a win-win situation. And I just spent a lot, and I was really glad initially when I first relaunched in 2018, I was glad there wasn't a ton of signups because when you want to do something, do it. Do not wait till it's perfect. Because if you wait till it's perfect, it'll never get done. It'll never get done. And the thing is, you won't know what the problems are until you actually start doing the thing. So when I relaunched in 2018 on a whole new platform, all sorts of moving pieces to that, there were a lot of problems. But you know what? As I solved one problem, we know to do this now, something else would pop up. So it probably took a good 6 months of tweaking to get things where it was really seamless.
And I just have to say, from the speaker perspective, you actually have the potential to look to earn more money if you look at it holistically, because you're not going anywhere. You're not spending the money traveling, hotel, losing income grooming. You can literally take 2 hours on your day off.
Yes.
And be like, or work half a day, and I'm setting aside 2 hours for this, and then a check arrives in the mail, and it is magical. Magical. But on that note, let's take our second commercial break. Hanvey Engineering isn't just for mobile groomers. I have loved my Hanvey equipment for years before I even thought of getting a mobile van, and I wouldn't want to groom without my Bathing Beauty and hair vac. With every piece of equipment in their van and outside of it having its own QR code linked to troubleshooting tips and fixes, these low-maintenance workhorses turn potential roadblocks into mere speed bumps. Check them out yourself at hanvey.com.
All right. So let's talk about the speakers now. Okay.
So
Chris has spoken many times for Pawsitive Ed, correct?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
All right. So I brought technology into the grooming world. Okay.
Nope.
Because how many of you actually knew how to use Zoom?
Besides me.
Besides Chris. Okay. So there was a learning curve for speakers too, because this was a totally different platform.
Yeah.
All right. Where the biggest consideration is Wi-Fi. You need Wi-Fi. You need in order to stream live, you have to have decent service. All right. Um, but
As we found out when we tried to get on YouTube,
yes, at the Idaho show,
the Idaho show,
when I first moved out here, it just never occurred to me that Wi-Fi could be a problem. Okay.
well, because you came from the East Coast. There's certain parts of the country that are so dense, that we're densely populated. It's just not an issue. Like, yes, we've got good Wi-Fi. Of course we do. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? So we move out here, and I'm trying now to. I was hoping for fiber optic, but it was not available. In fact, if I wanted fiber optic, it would have cost me like 18 grand to have it installed. Okay. All right. So let's look at something else. Okay. And then I try to get cable. All right. And apparently there is no more room for any more cable in this area. I could not get cable internet.
That just boggles my mind, but yeah.
And I couldn't get dish because my house sits kind of low.
Yeah. And dish wouldn't really be good.
Trees all around me. So dish wasn't an option. Satellite wasn't really an option either. And I'm literally thinking, okay, now my option is to get a co-op working space in town.
Yeah.
And do it that way. And then the casino down the street decide they're putting a hotel in.
So they got to get Wi-Fi.
They put in fiber optic. So instead of costing me 18 grand, it cost me 1,500 to tap into the line.
Nice.
So that helped out quite a bit. And I want to tell you something, how much I love fiber optic.
Yeah.
I can do a summit because I do all the back end for the summit. I could sit there, do the back end of the summit. Speakers are speaking, I'm taking care of all of that. And I'm probably working on the other computer doing something else that requires Wi-Fi. And I might be playing on a game while doing that. I know my husband is in the
watching Netflix or something.
Watching Netflix while playing a game. And there's not a glitch. So some of the early problems that we found with that, and why for certain speakers, I would have them pre-record their workshops because their Wi-Fi was so bad. There was it kept buffering on their end. So but they could send me a pre-recorded and then just be there for questions because they're not streaming now.
Right.
And so, you know what, you adjust to whatever life and technology throws your way and you deal with it. So that was some of the early issues. I tried other platforms than the ones that I currently have now. And they didn't work out. I think one of the really good things with COVID is that the networking and online sort of workshopy type things, there was a lot of companies jumping on the bandwagon and making technology really good. And some was really good and some was really bad.
Yeah, notice you don't hear as much about GoToMeeting anymore.
No.
It's still out there, like it still exists, but you don't really hear about it. And I want to say one of the first online classes I took that you gave was on crystals and chakras.
Yep.
And it was in a GoToMeeting.
Probably. I mean, when I tell you, I've used all the services.
That was like forever ago.
Yeah. And not even forever ago. Technology grows by leaps and bounds. And we could have this same conversation 6 months from now. And I'm going to be like, ooh, I got new technology. I'm really excited.
I know. I'm trying desperately not to get like 2 new programs to edit because I'm like, Audacity does technically work, but oh, well, Cast Magic does this. And this other one whose name I forget does this. And it's so tempting. I do love me some technology.
Yes, I do. AppSumo is a great place for getting new technology. Okay. So if you've noticed on the podcast, our descriptions have gotten better and our titles have gotten better. That's thanks to Cast Magic. you know?
Yep.
So technology is, it's, I like to try things out. And if it doesn't work, it's like, oh, well, whatever. But I'm always up for trying new technology and seeing if this can make a better user experience for anybody that has a membership.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, I think it might be time for our third commercial break.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and hit that button. Okay, you know I love my Evolution swivel shears, and you even know that these customizable shears come in non-swivel as well. But did you know that they're the only ones I've been trusting my sharpening with for around 15 years, and that's how we met? What? You haven't tried their sharpening yet? If so, send in your next batch of sharpening and you'll get one shear sharpened for free with a $75 order just for telling them where you heard about them. Your shears and blades will thank you.
Hold up.
You know, the reason these are in my desk is because I had a Toastmasters meeting this Monday and I gave a speech and I was talking about speaking and talking about speaking at the shows. So I had to have props and visual aids. So I had to have one of my scissors right there.
And one of the things when I was trying to, maneuver my way through this like new industry, new technology, I didn't have anybody in the industry, independent industry, who could help me.
Mhm.
Right? So all of the coaching, in fact, my accountability partner that I have now, is not in the pet industry. So literally every coach that I have had was outside the pet industry. What's nice is that there are more coaches now in the industry than has ever been. Right.
Ah,
And not necessarily technology coaches and what I needed, but you know what? River Lee is a great business coach. I thought that, that I had wanted to do business coach, but it's not where my passion lies. I mean, I
mhm.
love teaching business classes, but being a business coach is something totally different. And I'm not interested in that. So if you're looking for business coaching, we've got River Lee, we've got Amanda Layton, and there's probably other people that I don't know about, but there's more people in the industry now who know the value of having a coach, because the coach shortens the learning curve. So rather than making all the mistakes, you know,
Make some of the mistakes.
you can
Make
still make some of the
different
mistakes.
mistakes. Do you feel on that vein? You like how I'm being all professional interviewee?
Yes.
Do you feel that within not just the grooming industry, within a lot of different industries, there's a little bit of hesitancy to share mistakes? Like everyone is willing to share their successes and what they did. Oh, this is what worked for me, and share things that worked. People want to do that. But I don't think people are as willing in general to share their mistakes and to just go out and say, I tried XYZ and I could see where it might work for someone else, but here's where I landed on my tuchus.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of important too, because there's a lot of stuff out there, and what works for me may not work for you. However, there's some core mistakes. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And if being okay, so core mistakes. All right. So let's going to talk specifically here about speaking. And it's why, while I'm not interested in being a business coach, I will most certainly help coach anybody who wants to teach. Okay. So there's, especially online, right? So platform mistakes. Right. So in the beginning, because I'm going to go as inexpensive as possible because all this stuff costs money, right? So my first platform for hosting workshops was on Facebook.
How did that even work?
And I'm not even sure at this point. It was so long ago. All right. But the thing,
Okay.
But the thing is, right? So I had like Facebook groups and I would put the recordings up in it. It was like private groups, but nothing is private on Facebook. You can share that all over the place. Okay. And the thing is, Facebook is not your platform. Okay. Facebook is Facebook's platform.
Yes. And
And
that's the benefit to having, I'm guessing, a platform that you pay for access. You're kind of renting that space. That is now your space.
exactly. You know what? And I've been through all the different platforms. All right. I've hosted on um oh like a Vista printer or a Wix site or a GoDaddy site builders. All right. So I've held things on site builders. I went from Facebook, I went to a site builder. You know what? And that wasn't very professional either, and not couldn't protect my intellectual property there. And then I moved to like WordPress thing sites, and that's a whole other set of issues there, which I still have. I actually like the WordPress platform. You know, I've done the Kajabi, right,
Mhm.
sites, and so I've done them all. And sites like Kajabi don't work for me, but it doesn't mean it won't work for you. Depends on where it is you want to go. But
That's
yeah,
fair.
sharing all all the mistakes. I can write a book on these are all the mistakes I made, and it'd be like a book.
Yeah, I wanna go over that class. I want to teach that class. Just like, please don't make these same mistakes.
Yeah.
Go forth and be your own person and make your own mistakes, but try to avoid these.
Yeah. And that's where like a business coach or any kind of coach really is worth their money. Because if you can either get started faster to start making money faster, or stop making
Mhm.
poor business decisions that end up costing you money. Um, they are any coach. Well, I'm not going to say any coach. All right. A good coach is worth their weight in gold.
So what's your favorite mistake?
Just one.
Okay, your top two favorite mistakes. Like, wow, that one was spectacular.
Okay. And one mistake wasn't as bad as it could have been. Okay.
Okay.
So during COVID, a new platform came out called Hopin. All right. And to me, Hopin made a lot of sense. It mimicked a trade show. Okay. But none of the speakers that I got on it, I couldn't seem to walk them through how to use it.
Was that the one that was just on iPhone?
No.
Okay.
So it was, and I was spending a lot of time trying to walk speakers through it. I was too much time where the technology seemed to make sense. And I guess in an industry where this was more, where it's already had a foothold on it, it was good. But when it first came out, I had two options. Okay. One
Mhm.
option would cost me $1,200 for the year. And the other option was like $18,000. And my husband and I sat and I know your eyes are glazing over. So you see where this could have been a really, really big mistake.
Did that mm, for life and your children's life
No, for the
and
year.
gold plated things?
No, for the year. And my husband and I sat and we discussed this. And I'm like, and he was all ready to go for the 18,000 because this is a really good platform. You'll get a lot of use out of it. And I'm thinking, you know what? Let's try with the lower end of it. And if it really works, I could always upgrade. I am
Mm.
so glad I started out there because that could have been a monumental, way more. But it was a lot. I was spending a lot of time on it. And honestly and truly, and understand, I love the vendors. I love each and every single one of them. Okay.
Wait,
I
I
love
vaguely, I vaguely remember hopping. That was in a trade show you did with that, right?
Yep, yep. Because they had like rooms. The vendors could have their own rooms. And
Yes.
they could have had people come to the room and they could have asked questions. I mean, it was really pretty spectacular. Okay. But, but Okay.
But I don't think people knew how to get to the rooms or understood the
Yeah,
whole.
I think the learning curve was not for us, at least not at that time.
Yeah.
Okay, that could possibly change a couple years down the line. And I'm not even 100% sure they're still around. I'm going to do.
I'm going to
Let's
do a
just
quick real-time Google search.
let's go. Let's go and hop
What
in.
is that program I was thinking of that was just
Oh no, they are still around.
oh, that is not a toy.
And I'm betting they are way more money now because they're not even putting their pricing on this.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is you're interested? We're gonna have a conversation with you. So I am guessing this is way more money.
Yeah, if the prices aren't listed on the menu, I'm not sure I can afford to eat there.
Okay. So so where was I? Technology changes. All right. Chris, where was I? Because I went and digressed and now
I
we're
don't know because my mind went to trying to figure out that chat program that
oh,
was
I know where I was. All right.
just on Apple. Do you know the one I'm talking about?
There's Chat PT or something like that.
No.
We'll talk about that in a minute. All right. That's
Okay.
new technology that's down the pike. What I found is I couldn't work with the speakers to get them and the vendors and the speakers and the attendees. It was just I just couldn't. Okay. And the speakers, not the speakers, the vendors were waiting till like the very last minute to get me what it is I needed. Can't get you online if you don't help me out here. So it was pretty quickly after that that I stopped taking vendors for any of the summits. So they're commercial free at this point. The only
Nice.
exception to that rule is the Creative Grooming Summit, because I do that with Erin Martin, and she handles that end of it, so I don't have to.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Nice. So that's another perk to being a member is you're not going to deal with commercials.
Mhm.
I mean,
Except for
you're
the
not going to
Creative
get
Grooming one.
exposure to the what was that?
Except for the Creative Grooming Summit.
Except for the Creative Grooming Summit. Not that there's anything wrong with commercials. We still have 2 more to go. They're fantastic, but it's, you go there, you get your classes. There's no vendor interaction, which has its pluses and minuses, but I get it.
And and the thing is, I don't expect the speakers for Pawsitive Ed to be walking commercials either. All right. So
Right.
introduce themselves, and I don't mind if they talk about products they particularly like. That's fine. But not a commercial for the company. All right. So if it's in the scope of what they're teaching, that's one thing. Because I think a lot of time we have things we really like and we want to share that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I do
I
that.
think there's that fine line with that, by the way.
Yeah. No,
So-
I do that in a lot of my classes, and I'm only ever sponsored by one company. And I'm always full disclosure, but there's a lot of other products that I just like and that just work well. And you want to share what you like. Makes perfect sense to me.
So some of the newer technology that's coming down are the AI, the Chat GP or whatever it is probably the most common one of it. And what it is, it's there's a little bit of controversy about it, but if you're stuck trying to get words out, it can point you in the right direction. Right. Even though I use Cast Magic for the podcast, that's still heavily edited because it'll get the point, but
Yes.
not exactly.
Now is Cast Magic, I want to think, I want to say it's another app. Cast Magic isn't the one where you can say edit out all the crutch words and it'll slice out every time you say Is it?
No.
That's something else.
And I'm sure there's a program there for that too.
Yeah, there is, and I'm thinking of getting it.
There's lots of programs out there, and like I said, technology changes, and maybe, but that can help with, like, with social media. So you want to do a social media post, but like I said, you can't get the words out of your head. So it's more of a nudge, I think.
Okay. Which, you know what, sometimes you need. And then once the nudge happens, you go, no, that's not how I want to say it. But you can then, it just gets the juices flowing.
Yeah, I just can get help you sometimes just get the point that you're trying to make. Okay, that's what I want to say.
Right.
Now
Right.
let me
Right.
rewrite it in my own voice. Because I will tell you, it is very robotic.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to make some changes.
Oh yeah. Putting it into your voice is a big deal. It's a very, very big deal.
And I run everything through Grammarly anyway, checking for plagiarism, just to be
Yep.
certain.
Yep. So why don't we take one more break? And where did the button go? It didn't go anywhere. The button's in the same place. It's always in the same place. It's just, me remembering. I love being a house call groomer, but I hate doing laundry or worrying about asking my clients for fresh towels. Raypet has solved those problems for me with the Wet Pet disposable towel, taking up much less space than traditional cotton towels and easy to wring out and reuse. These super soft, comfy, absorbent towels eliminate any cross-contamination concerns between pets. And now their new smaller washcloth size can even help those sensitive eye areas. Great for cleaning out wrinkles gently and thoroughly. Need to keep water bowls for your clients on hand that are easy to disinfect, but hate all the room traditional clanky metal bowls take up? Or just have a very active pet? Their collapsible silicone bowl comes with an aluminum D-ring hook that can be attached to your pet's leash or anywhere else in your van for easy storage. You can get one by itself or in their handy travel kit, along with a set of 3 tick removers and 1 small wet pet towel. So stop by their website to check it out, raypet.net, and tell them the Traveling Groomer sent you. So Mary, the giggle ball was only out for a little bit, and then she wedged it behind something again.
Okay.
And now she's doing her weird suckling thing.
I can't hear it.
No, it's quiet. I swear, I think my dog was damaged somehow. Maybe she was taken away from her mom too young, whatever. But she'll get a stuffed toy and she'll like hold it down with her paws and almost knead it and like suckle on it. Not chew or tear apart, just like very weird.
And also Pawsitive Ed has started the several speakers' careers.
Yeah.
So let's see, the Fall Business Summit. Kyla Williams is speaking for the very first time in the pet industry. But she is a retired school teacher too.
Okay. By the way, ladies and gents, notice how I have attempted to digress once or twice to do our more traditional banner. And Mary is like, I am on this topic. We are on Pawsitive Ed. She is, this is the most focused I've ever seen you. Apparently you need to wear Tinkerbell hats more often.
Maybe. Right. But this is also my passion too.
That's true. That's true. And get somebody started talking about their passion, about what is important to them. And try to shut them up.
Yeah. it's been my philosophy is that I want to leave the industry better than what I got it. And I think that should be the philosophy of everybody with, and regardless of what industry they're in, leave it
Mhm.
better than you got it.
Leave the world a little better in
So,
general. Just the world. Leave the world a better place than how you found it.
so I would really like to encourage the next generation of speakers because um, at some point, what, I am actually going to physically retire, period, piddle around in my garden and take pictures type of thing. All right. But there's a whole generation of speakers that I look up to. All right.
Mhm.
There's Barbara Bird, there's Sue Zecco, there's Daryl Connors. I mean, I could just go on and on. Or Sue Zecco is my absolute favorite. I just need to say that. But of taking classes with people who now I'm standing on their shoulders and I want the next generation of speakers to stand on my shoulders.
Love it. I love it.
Okay.
So I'm not going to ask you who your new favorite speaker is because I think that would just be mean.
Yeah, you can't ask me that right now.
Yeah, it would be mean. There would be bad feelings, just bad things would happen.
So we'll lighten things up a little bit. We got Pooh Bear over here.
Yeah, yeah, I already got some very aggressive lovin's.
I know, you good boy. Miss me, huh? Yeah, he's gonna go back to sleep right here.
Aw.
What's nice about the summer office, he could sit next to me rather than inside my sweatshirt.
Is it nice? Is it nice though? Isn't he better in your sweatshirt?
Yeah, but he's all stretched out. He's kind of
Ah,
and I can't
okay.
just let him sit him here on the bench, even though it's got, nice cushions on it. I have to go get a blanket so it's nice and soft.
Oh my God, I can't. I love it. I love it. All right. So, co-host Mary, is there anything that I didn't ask Positive Ed Mary that I should have? Oh,
Um,
wait. I know there's one. I just saw that there's something coming up with understanding coat damage with B Bird.
yes. So
Do
this,
I have access to that with my membership, or is that a
yes,
special one?
yeah, no, because that's on the Skin and Coat Summit, which by the time this airs, Skin and Coat Summit is already going to be over
No. When's the Skin and Coat Summit?
this weekend.
It'll be over, but you'll still have access to it for what, 3 weeks if you're a member?
No, 6 weeks if you remember. 3 weeks.
6 weeks.
3 weeks if you purchase individually.
So
But
can you purchase after the fact?
nope.
What if they say, pretty please, we just heard about it on the Traveling Groomers podcast?
I'm sorry, because now it's a digital product and I have to collect sales tax, so we're not doing that. If you want to watch it after the summit is over, you have to have a membership.
Dun, dun, dun. Damn.
Hey,
You're
boundaries, Chris. Boundaries.
boundaries. Okay.
Set boundaries in your business.
Okay. Damn. Wow. I may or may not have poison ivy.
All right. But
Just sharing.
oh, that sucks. So the Skin and Coat Summit, which will be over and done with by the time this airs, has got Barbara Bird, Michelle Knowles, Melissa Conti Diener. Who else do I have there? Ashley Hanvey's got a class there too. Did you know that?
Oh, no. Is she doing the class on the bathing beauty, or what class is she doing?
Hold on a second. Let me go get the schedule. And I will
I
tell
want to
you.
know what class already happened.
Yeah, it's too late. So sorry.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Okay, so the Fickle Feline with Melissa Conti Diener. Fur versus Hair, that's with Jennifer Bishop Jenkins. Skin Assessment and Tailoring Product with Michelle Knowles. Tips and Tricks for Therapeutics and Mobile with Ashley Hanvey.
Ooh.
Understanding Coat Damage with Barbara Bird. Hair structure science and safety matting with Chris Pearson, and surviving or thriving pet foods make a difference with Kate Klassen.
All right. That sounds like that will be and was simultaneously at the same time a terrific lineup.
It is.
That
Really
because
good.
I'm a member,
Yep.
I will get to watch not this weekend because this weekend's slightly crazed for me, but that's okay.
And the following month in July is the Safety and Sanitation Summit.
Okay, now that one you still have time to sign up for.
Oh yeah, well,
Okay.
actually the sales page for that will go up. When will it go up? On Sunday, I will add, if you wanted to purchase it individually, you can, it'll be up by the time this airs. Okay.
Okay.
And Ash and Angie Coates is doing her full day sanitation class.
Ooh.
And you're doing a class there too.
I am.
Yes, you are.
I say very confidently, oh, I'm doing a safety and house call class, aren't I?
I'll tell you right now, you are doing out because it's safety and sanitation. You're doing ouch, don't do that.
Boom. Someone was just asking about that class. And I know I want to record a longer, different version of it. Then we'll talk later, but at least there's some version of it that will be on there.
Yeah. Ashley Hanvey is doing essential cleaning and use of recirculating bathing systems, which is a great class. And I'm doing, it's about a 3-hour class on planning for accidents.
What day am I doing that class, Mary?
You're doing that on Monday, July 24th.
I am, and it's even in my calendar.
And just go, and this is where some of the things I do is just do it all the time, regardless. So the day before, you would get a notification, a reminder with the Zoom link, because I don't put the Zoom link in too soon, because then nobody saves it. None of the speakers save it. And it's like, well, where's the Zoom link? Well, it's in the group where I put it. So the day
then you have to like scroll back and a 4-day conversation. And yeah.
So the day before, the people who are speaking the next day, I put the Zoom link and tag them and remind them, you're speaking tomorrow, right?
Yep.
I never have to worry about Angie, ever.
And it's always in my calendar. I just like a month ahead, I'm like, I can't that far ahead. It's in my calendar, therefore it's going to happen, but I can't that far ahead. Did you see on Facebook where I got panicked, Mary?
Yeah, I saw that.
That was okay, guys. So you know how Facebook memories pop up, and I want to say it might have been the Traveling Groomers
Summit
Summit. But it popped up in my memories, and I just saw, because you used the same layout and the things, and this coming weekend, and then I'm like, what? I've got what this weekend? It's not in my phone, therefore it doesn't exist. I legit had a solid 10 to 15 seconds of freak out before I realized this was coming up in my Facebook memories. I'm like, oh. Upsies. We're fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. Nothing's on fire. But on that note, let us take our next commercial break, our last one. And then we will see if there's anything else our guest wants to say. And we will be back with our self-care segment.
Everything else in the world seems to have changed. Pawsitive Ed has too, but for the better.
Online learning is here to stay, and Positive Educational Training has brought the trade show to you with Summit memberships. For one monthly price of $97, you get 6 to 10 hours of content streamed live to your sofa, or let's be honest, grooming table. Forgot to attend live? No problem. You have 6 weeks to watch at your convenience. That's 3 weeks more than non-members, and for up to $50 less than non-members paid. With a monthly support call and summits tailored to the pet industry and designed to include all learning styles. What are you waiting for? Check out positiveed.com today and get the support you need to take action in your business. Okay, Mary, before we go back to business,
Yes.
Positive Ed Mary, I need to speak with other Mary for a moment because I have something very pressing just happened. So I noticed in my double terminated crystal.
Yeah.
That there's a little, you see that the end is not right.
Okay. It looks like you tipped it.
I know. I just noticed that. I may have just done it. Can I fix that?
No, you can't fix it, but you could use it that way. So you have a pointed end and a rounded, more of a rounded end. So the rounded end is a little bit softer.
Uh-huh.
Pointed end is more directional. Does that make sense?
Yes. So now I can just soften this down and make it softer. So instead of it being double-ended, it's more
Yeah.
directional. Well, that actually fits with what I was probably going to use this for anyway. So I'm just sad that it happened. Gonna put it away so no other damage comes to it. So is there anything else you wanted to say about Positive Ed?
All right. So one of the things I'm moving into is setting up retreats, which I think is sort of the direction the industry is going on. And a retreat can be anything you want. Right.
Mhm.
So I have a workshop retreat coming up. By the time this airs, a registration probably will be closed. But look for other retreats. I'm actually really excited that Michelle Knowles is going to be doing a retreat next year
Mhm.
on skin and coat. And the products that we make, we get to use on ourselves at the retreat.
Yeah.
So I think so. Pay attention, because I think it's the way. I think it's simply another direction that this industry is going to offer education in different manners. And what appeals to other people.
Mhm. I like it. And everyone's idea of a retreat is different.
It's going to be different.
Like your idea of a retreat is it's more business oriented. Like it's very one-on-one. It's still very personal.
Yeah. So my idea of a retreat that I'm going to do is going to be a smaller number of people. It's going to be a working retreat, means you're going to work. Okay. You could play afterwards, but we're going to work during the retreat to do something. But it's going to be, but it's going to be a smaller group. All right.
Mhm.
And smaller groups, those retreats are going to be more money per person because of that. Okay. Other retreats, if it's going to be more volume, okay, those are probably going to be less per person. I would
Okay.
just say for people who are doing retreats, while a retreat can be anything, you can't be everything to everybody.
Yeah.
So whatever it is you decide you want your retreat to be, just be clear on it, because you're going to attract the right people to it.
Mhm. See, and my idea of a retreat is that there is 100% massages involved. There's massages and potentially pedicures.
Okay.
Just
Well, that's not
saying.
going to be the retreats I do. Okay.
That's right.
Just saying, unless you and I are doing some sort of traveling groomers retreat, and then I'll be the one with the whip and you'll be the one with the massage table.
Yes. Yes, I will. And that actually brings us quite nicely into our final segment of the day, which is, Mary, what have you done for yourself this week for self-care?
Okay. So I was away for the weekend,
Mhm.
right? So I drove down to Oregon, and I give myself time. So I came down the day before, all right? And then I taught for 2 days, and then I left the next day. All right. I mean, theoretically, I could have hopped in a car. I mean, because it's this part of the country, and I'm heading north. It's like light to 10 o'clock at night. I could still
Yeah.
have driven home and probably not drove home in complete darkness. But I just taught. Was tired. I'm gonna go to bed early. I'm gonna get up in the morning, and then I'm gonna hit the road. Right. So Tuesday I did nothing. I mean, did nothing but drive home.
Right.
Stopped off when I needed to stop off. Had lunch at a meh place.
Meh,
Meh.
meh.
Yeah. Wish it would have been better. Like I said, the salad was good, but whatever. Um, and I came home, even though I have things to do. I did nothing. I'm home relaxed. And you know what, Chris? I actually moved things over on my to-do list to the following week
Wow.
because it's really, I mean, I could get them done, but I'm going to get it done. I don't feel it's going to be my best effort to get it done.
Right. Right. Well, my self-care this week was yesterday actually rescheduling a dog. I talked about it on the live stream. You may or may not have caught it, but I screwed up an appointment and I double booked myself. And instead of just powering through it and saying, I'm not going to be on the live stream, you're still going to have the potential to have 2 other people, you'll be fine. I'll be grooming. I came home
Yeah. I
and
knew I
I
wasn't gonna,
rescheduled.
I knew I wasn't, that if I got home around the time of the live stream, it would have meant that I would have to pull my computer out. I would have to get things set up. And I was too busy being mauled by my dogs.
Yeah.
So
And
I took
Mary,
last night off.
and then I slept for like 9 hours, which is unheard of on a weekday. That is like some day off shit right there. I just slept and listened to what my body told me on what I needed to be doing, which was sleeping.
Okay.
It was glorious. All right. Well, that about wraps it up. That is about our time.
Mm-hmm.
Mary, thank you for being
Thank you for
Positive
having
Ed, Mary. Thank you for being on the podcast and for being a good sport about changing hats.
All right. You know what, Chris, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. This was wonderful.
Oh, you're welcome. Anytime. You and I should do a podcast more regularly. Not,
Do we have a third podcast to do?
oh, fuck no. I love y'all. But you know what? Maybe that will be part of my exit strategy. But more podcasting and more talking to people and teaching. But right now I still groom full time, and I still like to see my husband, who doesn't believe me because I spend so much time working, but I really do like spending time with him. So no, I think two's good.
Okay.
Two's good.
Okay.
All right. Well, guys, it is a wrap. We will see you next week. And safe travels. Well, that was fun. But now it's time to head home. We hope you enjoyed listening as much as we enjoyed chatting with you. If there are any topics you'd like us to discuss or guests you want to see join us on this crazy road trip of ours, let us know in the Traveling Groomers Facebook page. Don't forget to thank our sponsors, and see you next week, guys. Safe travels.